Give me a little background on yourself and how you got involved in the band.
Cool. So this is all about Before Their Eyes, right? Nothing else?
It's
Or you
about
want
whatever you want it to be about.
whatever I want to be about. Okay, cool. So I started Before Their Eyes in 2006. I was in another local band prior to that we actually got signed to Eulogy Recordings out of Florida and released an EP. We were like a pop punk band. And then in 2006, I found the best guys from our local. I mean, I'm from a small town of 40,000 people, so I found the best musicians in our local area that we had playing shows with, and we just started Before Their Eyes as like a project that we were just going to record. I told my fiance at the time, I was like, we're just going to record 2 demos. My music days are over. We're just gonna go down with Joey Sturgis, and this is just for fun. We're never gonna maybe play one show.
Right.
So that's kind of how it all started, and we recorded 2 songs and played. We played a show in Toledo, Ohio. Our first show ever was with the Devil Wears Prada up there, and we had like 4 songs, I think. So we played like a 4-song set, and the next day, Rise Records got a hold of us, and I was like, sorry to my fiance, like looks like we're gonna do this. And she was like, go for it. And I'm married to her now.
Right.
It's been a while.
So, who were you involved with Eulogy? Were you in a band on that label?
Yeah, I was the singer. We were a pop punk band called the Drama Summer. I was a big fan of the Starting Line back then. I was a Drive Thru Records kid back in the day. So,
Okay.
So yeah,
I managed Society's Finest, and they were on Hand of Hope.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, that was like the sister label or brother label or whatever.
Yeah,
Cool.
and Gods. I actually managed Jesse's band Gods, and they were
Oh
on
really?
Hand of Hope as well. Yeah.
Nice. Eulogy was kind of hot back then when we because they had Set Your Goals, and Set Your Goals was like really blowing up at the time that we jumped on Eulogy.
Yeah, Set Your Goals, and they also I think Evergreen Terrace.
Evergreen Terrace was blowing up then, so they had some. That was a sweet little era too for Eulogy.
Yeah, John was a real nice guy. The guy that ran that.
Oh yeah, he was awesome.
Yeah. Do you know what he's doing these days?
I have no idea. I have not talked to him probably since then.
Interesting.
So,
yeah, I had a lot of conversations with him. He was a real nice guy. What sort of music do you listen to, and who's your favorite artist?
Oh man, that's so hard because I change with the wind. I would say I listen to literally everything. Everything from hip hop to pop to rock to metal. Like I like everything really. Right now I'm really into the Midnight, which is like an 80s like synthwave. They're probably the biggest band in that genre. I like them a lot. Joan, I don't know if you ever heard of Joan, but they're like a pop band and they're incredible.
Yeah, them I haven't heard.
JOAN. I listen to them all the time, like the same songs over and over. There's another dude named Riley that's more like R&B
right
stuff. So that's like the main stuff I've been listening to currently. So I'm in a weird phase, I guess. But
do you listen to heavy music now anymore? Because I know there's a lot of times guys that are doing heavy music and stuff, they kind of end up steering clear of listening to it.
As of recent, I haven't been listening to as much heavy music. The only heavy music that I really listen to now is stuff that's on my label that we release. I'm trying to think if there is really any. Not really. Not as of recent. And it's not because I don't like it. Nothing's been crazy awesome, I guess, that I came across that stuck with me.
Right.
Which is probably my fault for not getting out there and trying to discover more.
Right. Now, when you say your label, you run a label?
Yeah, so I run a label. It's called In Vogue Records, and we've been around for about 10 years now.
Cool.
And I also just started more of like hip hop, pop type label called Substream Records, where I teamed up with Jason from Substream Magazine to create that label. So I got those 2 labels that I'm running, but yeah, In Vogue's been pretty much my focus since Before Their Eyes we weren't as full time. But I started In Vogue in 2009, and Before Their Eyes was very full time in 2009. So I was kind of trying to do both at the same time.
So for those that aren't familiar, what's on In Vogue?
I would say like some of the artists that we've had coming up in the past is probably like Being as an Ocean was a pretty big melodic hardcore underground band. Hotel Books is a spoken word artist out of California that does really well. In Our Own Words is a pop punk band we have right now. Boys of Fall. There's just Discrepancies is like a rap rock band that's killing it right now. So we have a ton of talent on the label currently. Lilac Kings has they're like a kind of a pop punky type band. They have a EP actually that comes out tonight at midnight. So yeah, we have some awesome stuff happening on the In Vogue side, which is my main focus in life currently.
Right. Who distributes you guys?
We go through the Orchard.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah. So we've been with the Orchard now for maybe 2 or 3 years, and prior to that, we were with ADA.
Okay.
I signed with ADA like back in 2011, so we were with them for quite a while. Craig from Rise Records actually introed me to the people at ADA and got me in there.
Cool. I co-ran Pluto Records.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and we were through. The Orchard was one of our distributors, and so was Revelation. Revelation did real well for us too, back in those days. I don't know if you're familiar with Pluto or not, but
I've heard of Pluto actually.
Yeah, we did like Azalea Dying's first record.
I think that's
Ludacris and Norma Jean, not Norma Jean, but Ludacris before they were Norma Jean.
Yeah,
we did their first record and such. Cool. Okay. Yeah, I didn't, because you said something about is this just about Before Their Eyes?
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
Okay, well,
a lot of people don't even know that I run In Vogue Records. They just know me from Before Their Eyes.
Right. Okay.
So, yeah, some people know, some people don't. So I was like, I don't know which one this interview is going to be about, or if it's going to be a hybrid of everything.
It's about music and what you do in general, man. So that's cool. Cool.
Yeah, the touring on Before Their Eyes became very difficult because I had my first child was born in 2009, and we kept touring until about 2012. I think was like the last year we were like very active.
Okay.
We did Warped Tour that year and did a few other tours. It was just getting difficult being a band the size we were, and just leaving home all the time. And I just felt like I was missing out on a lot at home.
So how do you handle your own promotions and stuff? I mean, besides Earshot, like, do you handle your own distribution for Before Their Eyes as far as like
currently, yes. In Vogue actually put out our fourth album, which was called Redemption, and then our fifth album, which was called Midwest Modesty.
Right.
So In Vogue actually put out those 2 records. And, I'll probably I might as well. I have that hub, unless we had talked about maybe going back to Rise, but that was like back in like 2015, 16.
Sure.
But, I'm just at that stage in life where I'm just not able to commit full time to something.
Sure.
Because I just have like so much other things going on. In my hometown, I run a clothing and a silkscreen shop as well. So
cool.
I've got a lot of business things happening, but I love music. I love writing music. I'm still writing music. It's not with the same guys as before, but I'm trying to bring back the original guys from the first record, and we're trying to put together a record right now, actually.
Cool. All right. So what would you say Before Their Eyes is about? Like as a band, like what do you guys, what are you trying to say with it?
It's kind of evolved over time. What our mission was, I guess. We kind of got lumped in the Christian world when we first came out, and I don't even think that was necessarily where we wanted to be. Not that we weren't Christian. I still consider myself a Christian, but I know people in the band probably didn't. that were them, but we just, that whole era was like full of like Christian, like screamo, metalcore type bands. Right. So I think we just kind of got lumped in that. And my main goal the whole time was to just spread positivity and a message of hope for people. That was kind of my whole outlook. I was never being like, let's hit the Christian market, let's not hit the Christian market. So I just wanted to play music, be positive, and tour. That was like my only goals. And my goals were pretty low. So we're from a town where people don't do anything fun, like cool like that. Like I just thought I was going to live in this small town forever. And I got to tour and see the world and do play with artists that I grew up listening to. So to me, I was just always like a fan. Like I felt like on every tour we were on, I was like, this is so cool. I get to watch all these bands that I'm a fan of every night. And, we got lucky where we developed our own fan base as well.
Right. Well, cool. That's cool. I'm going to ask you some interesting questions because what I do is I run a site / social media platform, whatever you want to call it, that deals with movies, music.
I went to your site and checked it out.
Yeah. And I've recently really started to concentrate more on the Facebook aspect of things because I think as well as I do, that's where it's at.
Yeah. I think we're really Facebook. It's our best reach.
Of course. So basically, I'm running the site through Facebook.
Okay, cool.
What is your favorite superhero, if you have one?
My favorite superhero is probably Spider-Man.
Oh, wow, man. You're like the third or fourth person that said that.
Really?
So interesting.
Like Spider-Man.
Yeah, everybody says that. Interesting. Okay.
Why? I'm not unique, I guess.
Why? No, it's not that. It's just strange that's like. It's really interesting.
I would love to be Spider-Man. I think it would be awesome.
What is your draw to Spider-Man?
I think it'd just be cool to like climb buildings and shoot web and go from building to building. I don't know. I just think that'd be awesome. I don't like flying, so I think that would be the best alternative to that.
Right. You can kind of fly, but you're still.
I'm still in control.
Yeah, you're still stable to something in a way. Right. Do you enjoy the superhero films?
I am not big on superhero films. My son absolutely loves them, and he talks about them all the time. He loves Marvel. And I don't really watch a whole lot, no, unfortunately.
Okay.
So I'm not huge on superheroes, but I do like Spider-Man.
Cool. What if there was a television show and a movie that you would consider to be your favorite or one that you just couldn't live without, what would it be?
Television show on the funny side, probably The Office, because I love that show. Sometimes I just put it on in the background while I'm working.
Right.
Brings me happiness. I don't know why. Some people like it, some people don't.
I love it.
You love it? Okay, cool.
Yeah, you're talking about The Office, right?
What's that?
You're talking about The Office?
Yeah, The Office. Yeah,
Office. Yeah, The Office and Parks and Rec.
Yeah, Parks and Rec's cool, but The Office is like my thing. But overall, like probably my favorite TV show is probably Ozarks.
Oh wow! Okay.
I love that show. It stresses me out, but I love it, and that's probably why I love
it. Right. And what about movies? Like, if you could think about a movie that you always seem to be drawn back to.
Man, that's a tough one. Because I don't go back and rewatch movies ever. I feel like I just watch them. I watch a lot of reality TV, which is probably terrible.
What are you into as far as that goes?
I love the Netflix series Last Chance U. I don't know if you ever watch that. I love sports documentaries. Yeah. I like stuff like that.
Cool.
Because I was into sports growing up a lot, and then when I started doing music, I completely got disconnected from sports, and then when I stopped touring and stuff, I got back into sports again, and I played basketball again.
Right.
I actually pay attention to sports again, so that's kind of cool.
Okay.
But, yeah,
so basketball is more your thing?
Yeah, I love basketball. I love football. I'm trying to think of a movie that I just love.
Like one, Star Wars.
I like
Batman.
Star Wars. I just watched the new Solo one about a month ago on Disney Plus, and I was like, that was actually really good. I really enjoyed it.
Cool. Yeah, I mean something like that, something that kind of sticks with you.
I love Star Wars. I'll watch those all the time. My son loves Star Wars. Actually, even my 2-year-old likes watching it now, which is good because it seems like for a while all they wanted to watch was YouTube. So
yeah, don't even get me started, man.
Like, we got to stop with watching people play video games. Let's watch something else.
Or watching people play with toys.
Yeah, unwrapping toys on YouTube. My daughter was into that for a while.
My daughter's into watching like kids play with toys.
Yeah, it's crazy. My son would always watch. My son was a big fan of Dan TDM. I don't know if you ever heard of him, but he pretty much just got big playing Minecraft on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
My son would always watch him play Minecraft. I was like, "Don't you want to play?" He's like, and he would just watch it. But it was really cool because that was like his hero, was like Dan TDM growing up when he was younger. And I saw him wearing an In Our Own Words shirt, which is one of the bands on my label, on one of his videos. So I DM'd him on Twitter, and he actually toured the U.S. and my son got to meet him and stuff. So it was really neat.
Crazy.
He thought I was like the coolest dad ever then.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Would you kind of answered the question already?
Yeah.
But I wanted to dig a little deeper if you're willing.
Yeah, I'm gonna. But
you obviously consider yourself to be a Christian.
Mm-hmm.
Do you consider it to be religious, or are you a spiritual person? And has that affected your career choices? And continue speaking.
It was, let's see. I do consider myself a Christian, obviously. Definitely not a religious Christian. I grew up Pentecostal, which is very legalistic.
Yeah.
Can't do this, can't do that type Christianity.
Sure.
So I still think to this day I still battle some of those things. Like when I first got into the label stuff, like I grew up like you can't say cuss words. So I would have never released music that had cussing in it, like back in the day. Now we do, because the more I grew, the more I realized that like legalism and that in Christianity, I almost think that's more harmful than anything else. So I would definitely consider myself more of a spiritual Christian. I haven't been to church in a long time, but we do have a church that we would attend. I mean, obviously, a lot of people probably haven't because of the pandemic and all that.
Sure.
But yeah, I definitely consider myself Christian, and definitely I'm definitely more of an open Christian than what a lot of people would probably consider a Christian to be.
Right. Yeah, no, I understand. I grew up Southern Baptist, so I totally
so you know about that.
Yeah, so I know where you're coming from as far as that goes.
I still battle like all of the things that come along with growing up that way. Just they can't do this, and just be like you're never good enough to like to reach that. There's something always wrong with you and what you're doing type stuff. So, I still battle those things, but I think I've gotten past that, and I'm starting to see the bigger picture of Jesus and what he stood for.
Right. So how do you, because see, being somebody who dealt with bands on a label like you did, how do you meld your beliefs and your Christianity with working with non-Christians or people who don't believe the way you do on the label? And like putting their music out, like how do you feel when you put something out that might be adverse to your personal beliefs? Yes, exactly.
So I kind of separate my beliefs from the label, because to me, music is art. And I don't think that, I don't ever want my beliefs to ever influence another artist's message. And I love having a lot of different views and a lot of different messages. I mean, obviously I don't want to release anything that's hateful or terrible, but no, I respect every religion, every belief, that's not dangerous. But I think I don't want to release just Christian music. I want to release everything, anything that makes people feel something, and can help people ultimately is kind of my passion. Because growing up, a lot of music that helped me through life, it definitely wasn't Christian music, because I think a lot of Christian music is like not good, and very generic. So a lot of the music that helped me through life was actually secular music. And I grew up only listening to Christian music. I don't think I listened to non-Christian music until I was like 18 years old. I was 17 or 18 years old. I think Linkin Park was like the first non-Christian band. And I think people back then were like, yeah, I think they're kind of Christian or something. So it's kind of like one of those bands that you could listen to and still think they were. I don't even know, like, it's tough for me because I don't even think music can be Christian. I think it's all about the message and what people are portraying.
Sure.
The message they're trying to get across. And I think non-Christians can help people through difficult situations just as much as any type of belief that there is.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. I kind
of separate. I don't influence my artists in any way. I don't want to, because I think that would take away the purity of the art and the message that they're trying to get across.
Okay. All right. Tell us a bit about the latest project you're involved in, and like, what are you promoting? And you can do it for the label, for Their Eyes.
So Before Their Eyes, kind of a weird project that we were working on, which we've released one of the songs already, which I think was Why Six is Afraid of Seven. We teamed up with a producer, and we actually just did like some remixes of some old songs.
I meant to ask you about that, actually. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we did Why Six is Afraid of Seven, and City in a Snow Globe is coming out in a few weeks, I think. I have the release date, but I forget when it is, to be honest. But I know it's coming out within the month. So we did those two. So we did a handful of like little remixes. So we're putting those out. You know, some people hate them and some people love them. So it was kind of a test. It was just something fun I wanted to do. I thought it would be fun to revisit those songs. And we re-recorded last year. Last year we put out some re-recordings of our first record, which was probably our most popular record that we put out. We re-recorded the whole album, actually. We've only put out 2 or 3 of the re-recordings, though, so far. I have to go back.
How did it feel to revisit that stuff?
It was really weird, honestly, but it was fun at the same time. I thought it was going to be really easy, but it was actually a little bit more difficult than what I thought it was going to be. But after we did them and we put them out, I don't know if you've heard any of the re-recording or how familiar you are with my band at all.
Yeah, I've listened to it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I don't know if you've heard the re-recordings, but I think my voice sounds about the same. I think they were like that different when I went back and listened.
Right. So did you record it with the guys you're working with now?
No, we re-recorded. So I'm actually like practically solo at this point. It's kind of me right now.
Okay. So you re-recorded them pretty much yourself.
But the re-recordings, I did bring back the old guitarist, the original guitarist that recorded on the record, and the original bassist, and Jarrett, the drummer. They all helped do the re-recordings, which was really neat.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So, so yeah, I got the original crew to help with the re-recordings.
Wow.
But like, as like new stuff we've been working on, I actually have been texting Jarrett, the drummer, the original drummer, and I think he's going to help out with when we write new songs, like real full band songs, not remixes.
Cool. Okay.
Which I'm excited. It's so weird writing music now compared to back then. I don't even know how to explain. I think it's just because I'm older and have been through a lot more in life,
right?
Than I had been back in 2006 when we were writing those songs.
Right.
And there was just like no expectations back then when we were writing the original songs. It was like, hey, we're just doing this for fun. And it was never meant to be anything, which I think made that first record so pure and raw compared to like album 2 and 3, because after that there was expectations and
Sure.
and there was outside influences on the music.
Right. And then what's going on with the label?
The label, we got just so many releases coming out. There's tons. Saya is a new artist. We're putting out a single tonight called Black Planet. And then we have the Lilac Kings EP. In Our Own Words is getting ready to hit the studio to record another record. Boys of Fall just finished up one. Discrepancies is putting out a new record this fall. There's a lot of records. I can't even remember all the records we have coming out. Go for Gold is a really sweet pop punk band we put out this year as well.
Cool. So obviously it seems like you're into electronic music.
A little bit. I don't even know if I'm like, I don't even listen to a lot of electronic music. There's a guy here that works at my shop, one of my employees. He has a project called Rodney Laserfield, which is just like a lot of like 80s instrumentals, and I listen to that.
Yeah, I've started getting into the 80s sounding rock, or not rock. It's more like,
yeah, it
almost sounds like video game music if it was like accelerated.
Yeah. And like if you listen to like the Midnight, they're like very retro 80s sounding.
Los Matos or El Los Matos or some of those other bands that.
Yeah, I've heard of them, listened to them. So
yeah, they do soundtracks a lot for a lot of different stuff. But I love that stuff. The reason I was asking is I actually just started doing music again with I used to do industrial metal.
Okay.
Yeah, like Clank. You remember Clank on Tooth and Nail?
I never listened to Clank. That might have been a little bit before I got into them.
It probably was.
Well,
let's put it this way. Do you know who like Ministry is?
I've heard of Ministry, but I've never listened to them.
9 Inch Nails.
I know 9 Inch Nails.
Okay, imagine them with more guitar.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, kind of like Fear Factory, I guess. That would be one.
I know Fear Factory too.
Yeah.
So you're doing stuff like that now.
Yeah, we do kind of stuff like that. So I was wondering that's one of the things I was going to ask you because of your electronic remixes.
Yeah. So these are like club, like almost hip hop remixes.
Right. Well, no, I heard them. I heard it.
Oh, did you listen to them? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I heard it. I just, most of the time when you lean into remixes and stuff, it seems like the person's maybe more into it than what they let on. So,
yeah, no, I'm not like super into it. I listen to like so much stuff. It's just, I was listening to a lot of hip hop at the time, and I was like, oh, it'd be cool. I wonder what it would sound like if we had like a beat behind one of these. Let's try to recreate these old songs, and just people are probably thinking I'm crazy, but some of the craziest ideas sometimes work.
Right. Yeah, my buddy just did some stuff that sounds like it's a Prodigy.
Really?
Yeah, if you know who the Prodigy is.
Yeah, I've heard of them too.
Yeah, but no, man, that's cool. Is there anything you'd want to close on?
I'm trying to think I think I've shouted out like everything I have. Let me look at my release schedule and make sure there's nothing else I want to shout out.
All right.
Since I was late to the interview, which is not a surprise for me, which is a bad quality. Speaking of heavy music, one of the bands, I said I listened to bands on my label. I signed this really heavy band called Healer. And we put out 2 singles so far from them, but they have a full-length record coming out this fall, and they are freaking awesome. Okay. They remind me of like 2006 to 2010, like awesome metalcore. Okay. So if you're into that, but yeah, check out Healer. I'll end on that.
Okay. All right, man. All right. Well, hey, listen, I'm glad we got hooked up finally, and definitely in the future, send me any stuff you have going on. I'd love to hear it. And
absolutely, I will.
Yeah, definitely. So
yeah, and anything you want to cover, like that we're doing on the label ends, I'll send it to you to see if it's something you're interested in.
Cool. Okay. All right, man. Well, hey, listen, thank you very much, and good luck with everything.
All right. Thanks so much. See you later. Good meeting you.